Hi, welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel, Nanny's Country Treasures. If you're new here, I'm Joanna, and I am so glad you stopped by. This is a Sew It Saturday. I love these. I truly do. You have no idea. My daughter said I am helping her so much. When she gets into sewing, when she has time, she'll have, videos to look back on, and then I put them in a playlist, and that made it easier. This Sew It Saturday. Okay, so what's going on is the Janome that I have been showing y'all on mostly and showed you about in the beginning videos and how to learn. I am giving it to my youngest daughter. She said she's been wanting one, and I have several, but they're just more vintage and they're so heavy, and I can't just give those away. So I'm going to give her my Janome. I gave her the choice between the Janome and a Kenmore that I have, but she wants this one. So with that being said, I'm going to have to show you this time what the presser feet are for in that came with your machine and how to use them. Okay, so that's what this video is about, and it might be lengthy, so we probably won't have a sewing project. I'm sorry, but it will be very informative with the presser feet. Like I said, they came with your machine, you might as well use them, and you need to know how. So I'll explain it the best way that I know how. Now the zipper foot might give me a little trouble. I don't like zippers. I have sewn them in, but I have a weird way of doing them. But anyways, I'll show you my weird ways. As long as it's easy and you can do it, we'll get through this, I promise. I just want to mention, if you happen to see my clothes, my shirt does not match my skirt at all. That's the joys from working at home, you know what I'm saying? I don't have to get dressed if I don't want to and anything special. Normally I'm in my work clothes, but this is a shirt that I actually wear out and about. But I did fix my hair, and that's only because I don't know if you got them yet, but honey, them gray ones, oh my gosh, they are so wiry and they stick up. They're happy all the time. They love to salute people. Hi. They just sit up there and wave. So I had to shellac all them down so they wouldn't be waving at y'all. I don't like my waving hairs showing their butts up there, So anyways, enough gabbing and joking. Let's get to work. Okay, so on this machine or any other machine, you usually have a button right back here. Some may look different, but this is the button, and when you push this button, this drops the foot, because these are snap-on feet. The only way you don't have snap-on feet is if you have a vintage machine. If you have a vintage machine, then your feet would look a lot different. They would actually screw on with this whole piece right here. But since you have snap-on feet, they have this little bar right here. You take your foot, and this right here is called an overcasting foot. Okay, so this is what it looks like. It has a little bar in it. It's normally labeled as a G. But this little bar right here, I'll show you how to get your machine set up to go over that. And what this does is it gives it like a makeshift surge to it when you don't have a serger. I used this a lot when I was making clothes, and my youngest that wants this machine actually did this for me. But you put your foot on your machine, and then you go back and you lower this right here, but you have to level it up and then push it till it snaps. It snapped right on. Now I'm going to take my top thread and run it through here. And then the settings for this, I'm going to have to move you. And I don't want to do a lot of motion. So I'm going to like stop and move and stop and move. Unless I figure out that that's not really working. So let me just pause you, and then we'll go from there. So now I have to hold the camera. So I'm trying not to be so wobbly. But you'll have your stitches right here, and then yours is a little different, but they're basically the same. What you want is this stitch right here, which is a G, so it's on the blue. Okay, So you're going to want this. These are special stitches. Okay? So you want to move this lever right here to the SS. Okay? And then you're going to select your G on this one right here. So you just turn it until you get your G. Now this will put this in the position that it needs to sew this on its own. Now I have got you right in front of me, so if I bump it, I truly apologize. This is the best way that I could show you so you can see. So what you want to do is this long foot right here, or this long piece on your foot right here, that's where your fabric edge goes, okay? This is your raw edge of your fabrics. So if you sew two pieces together and you have a raw edge and you don't want it to fray when you're wearing it or whatever. I did this a lot when I was doing pillowcase dresses and child dresses and things like that. I'm going to show you what this is going to do, okay? And it's going to automatically do this for you. This is going to be loud and I apologize. It's got that bar in the middle. It goes over the bar and then back over the bar. And what that's doing is it is putting a serge on your fabric to seal your edge. Okay, now let me show you. This is what you end up with. And this will keep your edges from fraying. You can adjust how wide or how long you want your stitches by this SS minus and SS plus. This is more toward the SS minus, and it makes your stitches closer together. I don't know if you can tell. Oh, you can tell. That's where I would want mine. And to do that, I'm going to move you. You move this. Where are you? To this. So longer, skinnier. But don't move out of the plus or the minus when you're doing the special stitches. Do not move out of these two. Stay in those. And everything should work out fine. Now I'm going to show you how to use the rolled hemmer that came with your machine. And these are tricky. So you'll just push that button back there. Pop this one off. Pop this one on. Pull your thread in that groove right there. Push it to the back and you're ready to go. Now, this is not a special stitch, okay? So you want to set your machine back to the way it was when you sew straight stitch, which would be an A or a B, and that's, you know, same thing. Get it off the stretch stitch and put it down to your length, which I prefer a 3 or a 4. And then my needle is in the middle, okay? Let me move you to show you how to do this one because I have to get closer. Okay, so I'm going to try to do this without bumping you, okay? I'm going to take the edge of my fabric. This is just scrap fabric, so you want to, it's a small roll. So you roll and then you roll over again and get a little edge right here. What I like to do is either iron it, or if I'm in a hurry, I'll just take a pin and I'll secure that right like that right there. Now, you're going to take this and you're going to place this under your machine where your needle can hit that fabric, okay? Once you got this, this just helps you hold it, okay? The pin just helps hold it. I put my needle down and I remove my pin so that I don't hit it. Now what you want to do is while it's curled like this, you sew 2 or 3 stitches. Roll it on your side here till your needle is down. lift up your presser foot. Now you're going to take this, and there is a little lip right here. You're going to roll your fabric and pull it into that lip, like that right there. Put your foot back down. Now the trick is you have to curl this with your thumb and pull this so it doesn't shift out this way. It takes a lot of practice. I'm not even going to lie. But just watch. I pull up some. Sometimes you have to stop and adjust. I'll show you what I mean. I wasn't pulling this, and I'll show you what I done. And then you can just backstitch. That's what I said. This takes trial and error, and I do better when my phone is not in my way. But that's what stitch you get. I got a little off because, like I said, I'm in a weird way. But if you don't hold your fabric, this is what it does. It will pull, and then your stitches on the back will be messed up as well. So this, like I said, takes a lot of practice to get this right. But this is the stitch you need, and this will hem your fabrics. Just another way. They use this a lot on light fabrics. So this is just one way, and that's how you use that foot. Like I said, it takes a lot of practice. Okay, this, where are you? This is a buttonholer foot, and this is very easy to use. This is why I love the one-step buttonholes. They automatically do any size button for you. All you do is you pull this back right here, and you pop your button in this little slot right here and push down. That secures your button. This will make a buttonhole specifically for this button. So what you do is the button back, okay? Your button goes to the back. Put your foot on by snapping it down. And then there is a lever right here you pull down. This pull down foot goes between your side pieces, okay? So this foot will go between these two pieces. All right? So what you want to do is pull this down. You have to have this down. Then you take your fabric, and I mark where I want my buttonhole. Sometimes I use a pin. Sometimes I mark them down the dress or whatever it is I'm doing. And then I'm going to move you again. You are going to move this to this right here. Okay? Now every time you sew a buttonhole, you have to reset. Do that right there and it'll reset. This goes right there. That's going to put your buttonhole in for you. Then all you have to do is, when I get you down here, I'll show you where to set it so you get your buttonhole correct. So all you're going to do is put your fabric under here. I took my pin out because I did one. This is what they will look like, but you put your pin in, and then where your pin is, that's where your buttonhole will be. And then you pull the pin out because it needs to sit flat on your fabric. And all you do is push your foot down and let it do what it's going to do. You do have to guide your fabric a little bit. Sometimes it'll get stuck. And you are done. And you just pull this off, cut your thread, and you have your little buttonhole. Now, when you open up a buttonhole, okay, you will want to, I know this is close, take a needle and put here. Okay? You do not want to go past that with your seam ripper. All you do is take your seam ripper, and I'm using the one that came with this machine because it's right here handy, and you just poke in that hole, or in that slit right there, and run your seam ripper right up, and then you opened up your buttonhole. If it needs opening more, I suggest that you just use snippers, a good pair of snippers, and there's your buttonhole, and you're good to go, and it will slide right over the button that you have. Then you just pull your foot up. My machine just reset, going back to straight stitch, and I'm going to remove my foot. And pull your button guide back is what I'm doing back here behind you. And this button goes right through this hole. And that's how you do a button. Now I'm going to use this foot right here to sew a button on, and this is easy. This did not come with your machine, but you can order one from Amazon. You can pick them up, and some craft stores, I know Joann's, should have them. They pop on just like this, and these little rubber feet hold your button in place. So you're going to take your piece of fabric wherever you want your button. Lord have mercy, can't get it back there. Okay, now you're going to take your button, and this one has 4 holes, so I'm going to line up these holes in a minute. First, I'm going to show you how to set your machine to sew a button on. So what you want your selectors at is you want this at a C, which makes this, sorry, I'm looking through the camera. Then you want this at 0, so your stitches are not going anywhere, because this is your stitch length. If you have this on a number, it's going to break your needle in most cases, and possibly your button, because it will move. You want it to stay at a standstill to sew on a button. So you want this on 0, which means it will not move, and this on a 5, which makes it a zigzag. If this is too wide for your buttonholes, then you adjust it smaller. Like I said, C, 0, 5. Okay, and like I said, if it's too wide or not wide enough, you adjust that by this right here, but you'll want to turn this knob manually to check your needle before you do any foot sewing. I have checked my needle. I've got my button in place, so all you do is push and it will stay. You can hold your finger there if you want to, and you just add a few stitches. Then you will pick this up and move it, and you'll manually turn your, see how it's hitting right there? You'll want to scoot this over just a little so that it goes in the hole and then continues back over to the other hole. Now you can confidently sew your stitches. And your button is on. That's just as easy as pie. So you'll remove that foot. Now, a zipper. Y'all gonna have to bear with me on this right here. Now I'm going to show you the best way that I know how to put on a zipper. I normally only do them in skirts or dresses, and they look like this, which would, you know, this would be my seam. So when you open up the seam, you know, you would have to open this to get to your zipper. I do not like invisible zippers, 1 iota, which means not at all. Okay, so this is the front of my fabric. Maybe one day I'll show you how I do a skirt. So I put these out and I usually iron them, okay? Normally I glue my zippers, but this is gonna fold down. So I just line my zipper up with the top here, and that makes my line. You can serge or zigzag this edge so that it's not fraying on you. I normally serge mine. Line your zipper up right there. And then I'll put a pin going this way, like that right there. And then I'll take this one and line it up. Make sure all my fabric is right. And I'll put a pin in this one as well. Put it on the outside, okay? Because you're going to be sewing close to this. Now I am going to unzip my zipper. All right. Now I usually have this laying on a table. So my zipper is going to be down the middle of this line. Normally I don't unzip the zipper. So this goes on this side. I'm not worried about sewing up here. I'm going to go below these metal hooks right here. And I'm going to make sure this zipper is right on this crack, okay? So this will push your zipper goes in this foot, okay? So all you're going to do is you're going to leave it in the middle and make a straight stitch. And then back stitch. I have a hang up, don't know what. And then back stitch. Make sure you keep your zipper on this edge. Never mind. Now you're going to keep going. Make sure you don't get your other fabric. Go all the way down. And I like to go right to it, and then I'll back stitch. Okay? Make sure your end piece here, if you can see, is back. Now you're going to want to zip this. Okay? You're going to put it back on the machine. And you're going to just go down. Leave your needle in if you have to turn it yourself. Turn your zipper, okay? Now you want to go over your zipper to secure this end. Back stitch, and then leave it right down. Now turn your piece and put this where you're going to be sewing and go all the way up. Now, when you get to this zipper part, make sure that this thing is up, because you do not want to catch that. If you do, you'll break your needle. Some people open this. I find it easier to leave it shut. Now you're just going to straight stitch all the way down. I'm going to remove all my pins, and I'm going to carefully go around this and then stop. And make sure it don't get under that needle, and then pull it through and clip your threads. Now that you've clipped all your threads, you want to carefully open up your seam. Most of the time I start from the top, and you're just going to want to pick your seam like I showed you in the other video until you get all the way to the end, and then you can open and use your zipper. Now what you end up with is a fully functioning zipper. Then you take these sides right here, and when you fold this down to put your hem in, I usually serge around the top, and then I fold this down to the top of my zipper, and then I just start and go around, and then that's my my hem right there, or my, you know, casing, whatever you want to call it. So that's how you do a zipper. Now the last foot that you would have is a satin stitch foot. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. And what this is, it's a very wide right here, and then it has slick surfaces, metal. It's usually metal, but it's really wide and has a big space where you can see. And what you can do is you can embroidery with these, or, you know, make different type stitches. Some stitches you have to have this one, like your decorative stitches on your machine. But this, if you want to lay a piece down, you take this and you adjust your stitches, and all you want to do is adjust your length down to a 1. Okay, this is barely gonna move. All right, so what it's gonna do is it's gonna, oh, you have to make it a zigzag. Oh, my bad. Okay, so you make it a zigzag, you put it to C. I done forgot what I was doing. Now, you want your fabric on the inside edge of this foot, okay? So what that's going to do is it's going to zigzag, and this is what's called a satin stitch. And it is a very small stitch, and all you do is wide and short, and you can lengthen it the way you want to, and it will move very slow, but you're going to attach your fabric like an embroidery would. And that's the stitch that it makes right there. You also have to use this foot if you use any of your decorative stitches on your machine. Now this is a type of embroidery that your machine can do automatically. It's just stitches that are programmed into your machine. That'd be really cute for edging. But anyways, that's the end of videos with my Janome. Well, it's bye-bye to Janome. That's what I call my Janome. I am a weirdo and I name all my machines, and hers was Janome because she's a Janome. But anyways, it's time to let her go. That's the last videos you will see on that machine from me. But anyway, she has been a good one, and I can say that it is a workhorse machine. She has made many of face masks, trust me. But anyways, I hope that I have helped you out You know, these feet work with any machines that have snap-on feet, or you can get ones that just go on, but they're, you know, like I said before, basically all snap-ons now. But these feet will work on any machine, so any of these techniques will work on any sewing machine that you have. But I just wanted to show you how to set the stitches on this one, because that's what I started out with teaching you, and I wanted to end, you know, if I'm let it go, then I'm just going to show you what else she does. But anyways, I'm done blabbing. With all that being said, if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button to become part of my YouTube family. And if you ring that little bell, you'll be notified every time I upload a video. Until next time, remember that you are a blessing. Goodbye.